Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josey. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josey. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josey, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is why every badass investor needs an exit strategy and when to pivot. When it comes to real estate investing, having an exit strategy isn't just a smart move, it's an absolute necessity. But even the most well thought out plans can hit unexpected roadblocks, and that's when knowing how to pivot can save your project. Let's dive into why exit strategies are critical and how being flexible can turn your potential setbacks into opportunities. Here are 5 reasons why every badass investor needs a solid exit strategy and the ability to pivot when needed. Number 1, protects your investment. A clear exit strategy ensures you have a plan to recover your investment even if the market shifts or unexpected issues arise. Number 2, provides multiple options. Having more than one exit strategy, like wholesaling or flipping or renting, gives you flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances. Number 3, reduces risk. By planning for the worst case scenario, you can minimize financial losses and avoid being caught off guard. Number 4, improves decision making. Knowing your exit strategy helps you make smarter decisions during acquisition, renovation, and even marketing. And number 5, my favorite, opens new opportunities. Sometimes pivoting from your original plan, like turning a flip into a rental, can lead to unexpected profits and long-term gains. So, always go into a deal with a clear exit strategy, but don't be afraid to pivot if the situation calls for it. A badass investor knows that success isn't about sticking rigidly to a plan. It's about being prepared, adaptable, and always ready to make the best of any situation. Remember, real estate isn't just about properties, it's about strategy, creativity, and resilience. Now on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. We have with us George Otel, a seasoned entrepreneur with over 10 years of experience in real estate and finance. George has been involved in a variety of high-impact transactions, including business acquisitions, partner buyouts, commercial real estate deals, and structuring innovative financing options for businesses. Over the years, he has helped more than 400 businesses secure the best funding solutions and has participated in over 15 business sale transactions, ensuring a smooth and seamless process for the owners. With strong relationships across hundreds of funding sources, George is able to meet financing needs for small businesses with deals ranging up to $50 million. His expertise and dedication to supporting business growth have made him a trusted name in the industry. I am thrilled to have him on the show, so welcome, George Otel.
Wow, I like it.
Happy to have you. Thank you for being here today. So give us a little background on you, George.
What a presentation. I feel like I'm like the star of the show.
You are the star of the show.
Nice. First of all, thank you for the opportunity. I'm thankful and grateful for people like you who are willing to take their time to create value for small business owners, entrepreneurs, investors, the Cadillacs of the America.
That is it.
And
Absolutely.
I'm so excited for the new trend of growth of opportunities, early stages of wealth transfer from previous generations to our generations, and excited to have the conversation.
All right. So tell us how you got started in this industry.
Yeah, I had other businesses. Then eventually I wanted to do real estate, like from the rich dad, acquire assets and enjoy the cash flow. I start doing short sales, buying distressed assets defaulted from the banks with an investor. Then it was in 2016. A couple years later, I met someone that was doing business finance, and I asked them, "Hey, what do I need to know about your business to bring in more clients?" Because that was my idea of how I'm gonna learn. So I was bringing clients, I was assisting on the phone. Eventually, I was doing myself with the clients. Been working with a mentor. I call it mentor and partner because he was teaching me and I was still making money. So it's both.
Awesome.
And I'm still working with the person. So whenever I get like 20, 30 million deal, I'm not able to process. I'm going back to my old mentor. But I have the US business funding started 2018. We started with small pieces of equipment, trucks, trailers, transportation, construction. Now we do equipment financing nationwide, 20,000, 20 million. SBA loans. Basically, SBA, we do working capital, business acquisitions, commercial real estate, and we do commercial real estate. We have you mentioned a couple hundred. We have over 1,000 lending sources. So we start with the private money, REITs, hedge funds, even banks. And yeah, I tell people you need funding. You need for funding. You always need funding. You need funding to start a business. You need
Yes.
funding to grow your business. When you buy equipment or operations, you need the money to stay in business because sometimes it's seasonality or things change or we get tariffs, which was ugly. Now is better. Now is more growth happening, and you need funding to buy a business. So whenever you need something like that, we can help you where there's other people and money is available. Banks are not distressed, and I'm excited.
Well, thank you for all of that. And I was excited to get you on the show, George, because my listeners are pretty well versed in funding real estate deals, but they may not understand that there is funding for their actual business. And real estate investors, a lot of times, they are doing it as a side hustle in the beginning, and then they build up some capital and then put it back into their business through real estate transactions. But what are some typical options for a small business owner?
Yeah, the real estate investors, they business owners as well. Their
That is
business
true.
is focused on real estate. So it's still business owners. Basically, yeah, we have some lines of credit basically for fix and flip. You can get up to $4 million for fix and flip. Basically, you have 9 months to do the flip, or I can help you get basically 30-year M as an investor through that. I do not so many of the residential. So I do a lot of commercial, basically. I mean, it's a lot of commercial real estate investors focus on commercial because a lot of industrial, it's hot right now. It's really hot. That's the hottest thing. Back to your question for real estate, I mean, businesses buying buildings, it's part of the real estate. I tell my business owners, I'm proud of you bringing the business to making couple of millions or whatever numbers you have. But when you decide to transition to commercial real estate to expand, you start from zero. So here we go. Commercial real estate, you start from zero, and there are options available for finance, refinance, cash out, and yeah, basically commercial real estate. I call it your retirement plan
Well,
because
I'm sorry to cut you off. I understand financing for transactions, but I'm more curious, could a small business owner, real estate investor, get a business loan, like say for marketing or
yeah,
other things in there? But that's where I was going with that question.
yeah,
So
yeah.
explain what that is, because that's why I got excited to have you, because I feel like this is untapped in our industry because we work so hard to build our own capital through real estate, but where we can actually get a loan or, like you said, line of credit, things like that, that we can put towards our business, not necessarily a real estate transaction.
Yeah, yeah. So we regarding this type of loans, we use SBA loans. It's a government program. So you get the fastest ones 150 to get like in 2 3 weeks. It was 10 about 10 days. Now with all the changes, it's taken a week or two longer.
And
So
how does that SBA loan work, and how long do they have to pay it back? I mean, this
yep,
is
yep,
a
yep.
hot one that I even know about this one.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about it.
So talking about the small one, because the biggest one is it just take longer and biggest. I mean, more money, but it's the same concept. It's for 10 year. Basically, the rate now is 10% is adjustable based on prime, and the no prepayment penalty. And basically, you need 2 years in business. For 150 grand to get it, it's fast. It's basically 30% of your previous revenue. So they keep it capped at 150. So you can get another one in 6 months, sometimes
Oh,
9 months, just to get the operations going. And then I have a lot of clients actually accessing those types of loan. It's you take it for 10 years and you pay it back with no prepayment. So most of the clients they pay back in 4 or 5 years. So it's good one. It's those are the ones. Look, 10% is the new 5 or 6 because those are the rates established by the Fed, but still good. It's nothing cheaper. You paying credit cards 27%. So I have clients using credit cards, then take them off and continue the business.
and what qualifications do you need for an SBA loan?
They wanna they say they want a 690, but we see 690 getting declined. So 720 credit score, 2 years in business, and basically you get 30% of your gross revenue from previous year. If you didn't file your taxes, you can use basically 2023 taxes till September. So I mean you can have an extension for 2024, so use the other one. It's
Interesting.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
once you get one SBA loan, you said you get another one. You can reapply in another
Yeah,
six
yeah.
something.
Have this misconcept about SB loans. I mean, those are the cheapest money available, and it's for 10 years and amortized for 10 years, and it's really helpful. So the problem is people go directly to lenders, and lenders don't understand your business, and you don't understand the lender. So that's the problem. We are brokers, and we help you to go through the process. We do a lot of things for you. We understand what the lender want to see, and we explain what you have to do to get it done, because that's the misconception. They a little bit they hold hairy to to go through, but it's possible. It's possible. We had times we were doing 15 20 loans a month for small business, the working capital. When
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. And I love that you have your background in real estate investing. And so you know
Yep, yep.
what questions to ask on our behalf. So let's talk about the funding. And you mentioned that you have relationships with hundreds of
Lending
where's my
sources.
lending sources. I lost my question here. But why is it important to have connections with that many lending sources?
Yeah, because things change every week. So when I get to the office on Monday, I get so many emails saying, "Hey, we don't do this anymore. That's out of the question." And having more sources basically increase your probability of succeed, because I understand I understand how business works. I have a couple of businesses myself, and I understand how business owners thinks. Doing finance for 7 years, I understand what banks think, how they think, what they want to see, and I'm looking from perspective as an investor. It's like, hey, I'll be investing in this business or not. So I'm telling them a clear picture what they may expect. And basically, when you go to your local bank, I love local banks. No disrespect, everything is good. I use them most of the time. But going to your bank, you have only one option. It's like yes or no. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks to say no. So I don't know why. I still don't know why, because we take a week to go through hundreds of sources of funding to get yeses and nos. So a lot of things are changing right now. The markets are uncertain, but we have private money, we have conventional, we have hedge funds, we have REITs, we have family office, and things are available, money are available. And the question is like, are you willing to participate, or you're gonna say things are bad? So a lot of things basically for business owners, I tell them commercial real estate, it's your retirement, because we use SBA for commercial real estate. So
Oh,
if you have your own business and you're leasing the property for at least 12 months, I have a government program. You, you qualify financing for 100% financing because you're already paying the mortgage. That's how it works. I
and you're
tell
talking about for an office?
for office, any type of building, industrial, restaurant, office,
Okay.
manufacturing, transportation, mechanical, whatever, you name it. For office, look, great question. Office is 30-40% on discount right now because it was dropped. But if you occupy 51% of the facility, I get you an SBA loan with 10% down payment. So 10%, you're gonna be able to find 10%. And you got basically the idea it's the mortgage for the building is gonna be lower than the rent you're paying. That's how it is. We have recently a client, they were paying $10,000 for rent. Then we got them qualified for 10% down payment through an SBA loan, and the monthly payment was 9,000 for mortgage. So they're paying less. That's actually how it works. Because when you're
Wow.
paying for the rent, you're paying for the mortgage and for landlord's vacation, or you. I call it landlord's vacation or landlord's pension. You decide which one you'll go, but they go to one of this.
I like that you said that way. So, okay. And because you keep saying commercial real estate, and in commercial real estate, I think apartment buildings just because that's where I am. But you're saying any type of
Everything. Yep,
commercial type
yep,
business.
yep,
Gotcha. All right.
yep,
Thank you
yep,
for
yep. You can
clarifying
be a
that.
restaurant, or you can be a restaurant, hotel, motel,
All
uh,
right.
a lot of warehouses. It's and if you're occupying that, it's you already paying for the mortgage. It's so easy to get it. Recently, I had a client. They bought a property over $4 million last year. He got called by the seller saying, "Hey, I want to buy it back. I'll give you a million over." And he was shocked because I told him, "Look, the value is gonna go higher." And he's like, he got shocked. It was higher that fast in 9 months. But the most frustrating thing, he was paying rent 7 years prior to that. So it's like he missed. But I told, look, I mean, you gotta be happy you got it last year, not 5 years in the future. So
Well, most of my listeners are small mom and pop organizations,
yep,
or
yep,
this is
that's
a
that's who are my
side
clients.
hustle. Well, but they don't necessarily have a place where they are running their business. Like we run our business out of our home.
Okay.
So that's not necessarily a situation for that. But what advice do you have for those small business owners looking to secure funding for the first time?
So if they want to buy, basically we do small, as you mentioned, apartments building.
Okay.
So we do that.
But they don't
We
have to
can
occupy 51% of it.
no. I mean,
Okay.
for if they want
For
to
the business, the SBA loan.
for SBA, you have to occupy. But
Gotcha.
I have other loans, conventionals or private money that you use as an investor.
Okay.
So if you buy 5+ units, we have funding for that. We can do bridge loans, we can do conventional. We have funds that able to move fast. So it's whatever you want to do.
So I am looking to refinance a small apartment building, but it's considered a rural
Yep,
area.
yep,
Do you have issues
yeah.
with financing rural areas, funding rural
Well,
areas?
there is issue every day, all the times, everywhere. But we have solutions because it's about solution. Issue everybody has issue, but we're looking for solutions.
Well,
Because at the
George,
end of the day, we're gonna have excuses or results. So I'm looking to do the
that is written on my gym wall, that exact saying, but I think you and I just became best friends. So I want to hear more about this. But let's go back to the businesses that you fund. And this, you said over 400 businesses. What's been the most challenging deal you've worked on, and how did you navigate it?
One of the most challenging was recently manufacturing place acquisition was 40,000 square feet. So I tell clients when you're looking for financing, especially for owner occupied, if you don't have a pre-approval, you're shopping around with no pre-approval, you're wasting your time. So the idea was couple offers on a building, and my client they got the offer. They got accepted because they had the offer. They had the pre-approval. So I take time. So when you go to the seller, he takes you serious because you have you approved, you have the money, because at the end of the day he's like, show me the money, and you show the money. So the deal was complicated because we had to structure basically my participation in the deal. We were able to structure the company, the structure of the company, the ownership to qualify for the loan. Because when you go to the bank, a lot of time they're not gonna tell you that. But when they throw a broker, they tell me what to do, and then I explain you what to do, and most likely I know who is gonna do it most efficient and faster to qualify. So imagine you want to buy something commercial, you gotta do 40, 70 grand just to have the conversation in escrow. So we had 4 extensions. So every time you get another extension, 10 or 20 grand, it's about to disappear. And the client, he's like, hey, George, what do I do? It's like, what do you mean? What do you do? You want to buy the building? Yeah, then I don't have a no for a bank. So we keep pushing. So eventually, that deal was about to blow a couple times. It took 5 months, but we closed it. So it was an SBA. So we closed it, and a week later things changed, and that deal was about to blow up. So we got lucky. Yeah, that was it. Was so like, I believe in luck, and we were lucky enough to. And the client, he's like, yeah, he's a lucky one. So he bought a brand new motorcycle to go to the closing day. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, he was the Cadillac.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one of the hardest thing. And I mean, it's I've done multiple things hard, but that was one of the most recent.
So, for the listeners out there who are now like chomping at the bit to want to learn more about this, what exactly are the services you provide to small mom and pop real estate investor organizations?
So my business use business funding. We do equipment financing, any type of equipment, 20,000 to 20 million. Let's say for construction, you want to have like a bulldozer, bobcat, whatever
Like
equipment, any
renting them, purchasing them?
purchase. So I
Okay.
can help you to finance that, because if they investors, they looking to do the management, or so we do that. We do SBA loans and commercial finance, and we have some lines of credit.
I
They
was
they
going to
may
ask.
do that. Also, if they wanna cash out, let's say they need money fast, I can basically cash out 60-70% LTV in 10 days. So you
Wow.
use the money. Yeah, it's fast. That's for investment only, no residence.
And
So
the
for the
value,
single family
okay. And the value of the property is based off of
appraisal.
appraisal.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. Not like the asking price or anything like that.
Yeah, I
If it's
mean,
listed. Okay.
asking price, it's in the clouds, so it's subject to change. You know how that works.
Of
Everybody.
course.
And now
Yeah.
we going in the down cycle, so it's the reality is changed. But yeah, these deals are getting done. I see real estate investors, they pull cash from 2 3 properties. They use it towards the down payment to buy monopoly. So you don't have to sell those properties. Just cash it out, and just make sure that whatever you pay in interest is gonna cover the deal, because you have like a smoking deal, and you're getting 20-30% discount, and you have a discount, then you optimize it properly. In a year later, you're gonna double or triple the money you paid, you took. So it makes sense. So that having money, access to money fast, it's
It's
an
huge.
edge. It's an edge, because things are going for sale. They're gonna go. Basically, we don't see so much because institutions are buying, banks are buying, but at certain point they're gonna go to the main street. I'm in two chats with banks and with the funds, and I see a lot of portfolio sale, and it's happening. It's happening, and it's good to have access to money. I tell people, look for money when you don't need it. Because when you need it, you either not gonna have enough time to get it, or it's gonna be way too expensive, and you don't want to position yourself in a corner. You, you by looking for money when you don't need it, banks don't see risk in you. So there's risk. There's no risk. They give you the best options, the best rates, the best of everything. Look, lines of credit are available. I tell people, you rather have a line of credit and not use it and not pay interest than need it and you don't have it. So it's
Absolutely. And well said. Thank you for saying that. So, what are, besides not having a pre approval letter, what are some common mistakes business owners make when seeking funding and how can they avoid them?
as I mentioned, right now those times are uncertain, and going to your local bank, it's basically not the best option because they're gonna give you a long no. It's gonna take you longer. But working with someone that is doing this on a daily basis, I mean, not exactly just with me, but someone like me, they have multiple sources, and like your deal is getting multiple offers. Basically, banks gonna compete for you. You wanna decide which one. So that's kind of an edge because it's you investing in business. It's a teamwork. Who is in your team?
Right.
So my client that I mentioned, the hard deal, having me in their team, it was a winning. So it's because if I'm not able to help you, I know someone else that is able to help you. If that one is not able, then there's nothing to do with the deal. It's the situation. But recently we participate in a it's a manufacturing company out of bankruptcy liquidation. So I have funding for that. So
Wow.
I mean, money are available. The question is, you want to participate or not? Because transaction is gonna happen. See, like when it's scare, when it's ugly, when it's blood on the street, that's the time to buy. Because 6 months or a year later, say, oh yeah, that was the exact time we're supposed to buy. Yeah, but nobody would buy.
Yep. I
There is
agree with
even a
that.
book. When
Yep.
the time when the time will come to buy, you wouldn't buy. That's
Yes, there should be thousands of books like that. So, all right. So, I have an important question for you. I recently was working with someone who does some unsecured lines of credit, some does some other things, and it took 5 weeks for this person to get back to me for a 30-second phone call telling me I just need to get my credit score up just a little bit. So I was like, really? You made me wait 5 weeks for that? So what is your turnaround time when dealing with small business owners or whoever you're working with at the time? What's a typical turnaround time to get them an answer because it's stressful trying to find funding?
oh yeah, it's when people call me, usually they need money yesterday.
Yeah.
So we try to move quick with like I mean max a week, but in 24, 48 hours we have responses. Recently, I had someone buying a basically he was renting the facility and he wanted to buy it. It was about $3 million. And he went to his local bank. He was like 4 weeks back and forth and he has like almost $1 million in a bank with the same bank, and they said no, and he's like, George, I'm devastated. It's like how and why. Then I got him pre-approved in 36 hours, and he's like, how? I don't know, like, is this real? Like, yeah. So it's yeah, it was 36 hours to get the 3 million facility pre-approved. So
It's so great to have those connections. All right. So, what's been the most rewarding part of helping business owners secure funding and navigate these complex transactions? How's it rewarding to you, George?
for me, it's participating in those stories. Basically, the stories, it's amazing helping people. I go to communities in Chicago. I speak 3 languages, and like I feel so grateful to meet them. I never even I had the situation. I didn't even know how they look, and they like, oh yeah, you helped me with this, you helped me with that, and it's I I had businesses myself and I understand the position of business owners, and basically the idea is like if I'll give those loans to my mom, I'll give it to my clients, and I enjoy because those are this is a competitive, and it's amazing to help people. And look, I mean, I'm not worried if I'm gonna make money or not because money is gonna come anyway if you focus on solving the solutions and finding options for business owners because they always need funding. I mean, The bigger you grow, your job as a CEO, you're gonna go more into the financials to move the finances. So once you optimize your operations, you're gonna look for options to grow, to refinance, to expand. So it's part of your job.
Wow. Well, one of my jobs is I coach real estate investors, and I joke with them all the time and say, do not get, I'm saying this to the camera, do not get into a partnership unless you are married or blood. And I have had a handful of students who gotten really bad business relationships, business partnerships. And I did see something in your background about buying out business partners. So give me a quick little just synopsis of how that would work and how I can send some of these people to you who need help to get rid of their partner and make it as clean as possible.
Yeah, so those are loans. So whenever it's a business acquisition, basically 50-50 or whatever is the situation, one partners buys out the other one, and at the closing, the one that is living is getting the check.
And they can get a loan to buy out the other partner.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, let's say if you have a $4 million facility, the one is basically is taking a loan for $2 million to pay off
Gotcha.
the
All
other one,
right.
and it's for 10-year loan. And you can also get some working capital to expand, to optimize, because you're the only
Yep.
one working on that, and you want to shake off the dust and get the engine running in 8 cylinders, because it's your business now. You're the boss.
And does it matter if it's not necessarily in a facility, but it's more for maybe rentals that they own and they need to split up the rentals or things like that? Does it have to be tied to a type of a commercial building?
No, it can
Okay,
be service business or any type of business.
gotcha. Okay,
So for that one, it's basically cash out refi. So someone is taking the thing, or in the business side, you just pay off the other one, gets a check and gets out of the equation.
very good. Well, listeners, make sure you reach out to George here because it's a big struggle. And I feel like we're on our own little island, real estate investors, because it's not a where we're selling widgets by any means. And we raise our capital typically through our real estate transactions and profits, and we put it back into our business. So this just opens the door for so many listeners out there, I think is really important. So I want to speak just briefly on selling or buying businesses, because I know you also have that in your background as well.
Yep.
So if someone is considering retiring, I know boomers are getting ready to retire and they're going to be selling their businesses. It may be a great opportunity for someone to purchase someone's business. So what would that transaction look like? How do they get funding for it? I'm just clearly going to go to George if I decide to do this. So give us some insight on this.
Recently, I was at the podcast, and 2 weeks later, the person is approaching me. He's buying a business. So, yeah, the
Very
person for
cool.
the podcast, it's we're doing a business acquisition now.
Well, don't think I'm not calling you as soon as
Yeah.
this is over because I've got some personal questions for you.
So for people who selling business, I tell them, look, you gotta make sure you clean your books. I tell them you gotta prepare at least a year or 2 years in advance to make sure you clean the business is clean. Hire someone that it's professional, clean the books, make everything look nice. First is gonna give you a higher price for the business. You're gonna find ways to get more money, to optimize, to work less in the business, and obviously you're gonna sell it with less stress, because a lot of the messy business they don't sell because they're messy. So that's, I mean, 70% of business they don't sell. So you want to sell it. If you want to be a winner in selling your business, you got to start early. Now, for the buyers, some of your, let's say, investors, listeners, that let's say they want to buy business. A business sometimes it's a franchise, it's a Dunkin' Donuts, whatever. All the brands are for
A friend
sale.
of mine just bought a flooring store. So let's
Yeah,
use that as an
yep, yep,
example.
yep.
Okay.
So it's 10% down payment basically through an SBA again. So the idea, it's you as a guarantor, basically your 2 years of taxes, and to have the down payment available, or if you have an investor, the investor have the down payment, and we're focusing on the business. We're looking the cash flow, last 3 years of taxes, and how basically what at what price it's gonna be a fair price for you to buy it. Because the good thing, the bank is gonna help you say what is the best price, because they wanna adjust based on the risk. So you need 10% down payment to buy a business up to 5 million. They want to change it to be a higher price now. So any business for sale, you can buy with 10% down payment, which is really good. There's nowhere on planet Earth besides United States you can do something like that. So if you don't have the money, let's say you have the relationship, you can bring an investor. You give them 19% under 20, so they don't guarantee the loan, but they part of the LLC. So you guys play the revenue, and if you have experience, you will get the loan, and you decide how much equity you get, but 19 up to 19. So they stay passive, they bring the money, and you buy the business. So buying a business a lot of times is much better than just real estate, because on the real estate you're limited on what you do. You optimize and increase rent, kind of how to make the money. With the businesses, we let's say you buy the business and you sell some equipment and you make money that way because you want to readjust in other ways, and you do upsell. And if you have, let's say you're an IT guy or whatever jobs, because as you mentioned earlier, your listeners, they part-time investors, but they have like a job or a business. So whatever they do, no matter what you do, you're good at, you can buy a business already doing. So you don't start it from scratch. You buy something that is already with the clients, systems in place with the employees, everything looks good, run good.
You
So it's
you read my mind about the 10% down there. I was like, oh, okay," and then you
yeah.
totally answered it. So thank you for that. I'm just curious myself, George, what are some hot businesses to buy right now? Because I'm reading about the boomers or dying off or just retiring finally, and there's
Service.
lots of opportunities out there. So what's some hot businesses to look into right now?
I don't want to say that, but I'm gonna. Oh,
Come on.
nobody. Yeah, the hot things right now are the plumbers, the plumbing, the service industries, and
Okay.
it's they hot. Those are hot. They going fast, and I even have a team, a marketing company, and we basically they help you grow. Let's say if you have a plumbing company, they help you buy another and then sell it for, instead of selling for a 3 multiple, you sell it for a 7 multiple. So it's yeah, that's because you're not gonna buy a building and sell it with the 3 times more in 5 years, but you do that with the business. So if
Ah.
you do it right, yeah.
And I've heard that about service industries, and in fact, like landscaping kept coming up.
Oh
There's,
yeah, yeah. Those are
yeah,
the cash cows.
yep.
Gas station. Look, I mean, gas stations they making 30-40% markup. Those are convenience stores. So it's not about the gas. I mean, if we're not gonna have gas, we're gonna have electric cars. So they're gonna have electric pumps and selling the convenience, everything available. So those are cash cows. It's if you know how to manage them, it's you enjoy it.
I want to buy a parking garage.
Yeah, everything is available. Everything is
I
it's
just think you put up a sign, not responsible for any damage or theft to your vehicle, and then collect $5 a car. Come on in.
Oh
Or
yeah,
even
five
10,
dollars.
15.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, you go Chicago, you pay $10 an hour, so it's
Yeah, no kidding. That is very true. Well, this has been amazing, George. You heard me give a badassery bestowment, just a little nugget in the beginning. Do you have a nugget that you can share with the audience members?
and I get don't be afraid to try things. The look, the biggest wealth transfer is gonna happen in the next 10 years. It's already happening. It's already happening. It's an early stages trend. The question is, are you gonna be part of the transaction or are you gonna stay on the side and then you're gonna say everything is bad? So now you have access to money. You have my number. You can find me on LinkedIn and we can discuss. Look, I don't charge you anything to have a conversation. And I am sure that basically 80% of my clients, after having a 10-15 conversation based on the verbal numbers, they see things differently because everybody has their opinions based on the knowledge and experience they have. Me doing this every day for many years, participating in different things. We have 12 deals right now in commercial buildings, and I got a lot of pressure. I'm doing this podcast, but like my things is blowing up. The email is running 3 lines on my phone. And I have the experience to help you. And I don't charge you. To just give you an idea, go work on that. If they real estate investors, obviously they want to take some risk and they want a better life for themselves and their family, and it's available, and don't watch too much TV is not going to help you, it's going to distract you.
You crack me up. So, how do the listeners find you? I know you said LinkedIn. Do you want to share your phone number? Do you have a website for people to go
Yeah,
to?
yeah, my phone number is 414-475-7757. My email is george at usbizfunding.net. My website is usbizfunding.net, usbusinessfunding.net. Whatever you want it goes there. So I'm excited. I'm excited
I'm
to.
excited.
I took years of my life to study and to participate in those things, and now I went through a lot of cycles, to a lot of mentorships, hundreds of thousands of dollars paying in fees to get to where I am. So it's now I ask the banks, hey, who is giving me the best deal? Because I have the client who is giving me the best deal. 8 years ago, 7 years ago, I was asking, hey, can we work? So it's worth the conversation.
George, this is fantastic. I was not sure what to expect with this interview, and you have got me excited. So I am going to be checking this out. I'm going to have you help me buy a parking garage somewhere, and also another random one was cleaning out garbage cans. Like that's a really big business right now too, where you just buy the piece of equipment, you go around and you clean out people's garbage cans. Like who thinks to do that?
Yeah,
Anyway,
you buy
go
the
ahead.
equipment, you use
Yep.
basically equipment as collateral, you do like a 10-20% down payment, and here we go. Service business. United
Yep.
States is, I don't know the exact number, but it's over 50% service business, like 70-80% service businesses, and it's available. And a lot of times those businesses for sale, they can be optimized so fast, and you don't need to start it from scratch. You just get a thing that is going, it employs, and optimize it and partner with someone, then do a manager. I tell people, buy something big enough you can put like a professional manager to pay them a salary, and
Yep.
you're out of the circle, out of the rat race.
This has been so helpful, George. Thank you so much for sharing your badassery today. We are going to go into the second part of the podcast here, which is what makes George Otel a badass. And I use the acronym BADASS, and the first letter is B for book. You have plenty behind you that I was eyeing before, but what is a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
It's Psychology of Money.
I have that, but
It's
I
the
have not
recent one.
finished it yet. I got like through it and I got distracted because my ADD kicks in, but I see it right over your left shoulder
Yep,
there.
yep,
But
yep. I put it
tell us
right
about the
there.
book. Yes.
Yeah, it's basically, I tell people, you don't need money to buy a business, because everybody can buy a business with money, right? I mean, so the psychology, you don't need money to do stuff. It's real estate investors, the creative people of this time. So it's the mindset of the book to focus on your thing and don't pay attention to the flashy stuff. And obviously, real estate investors, the smart people, because they decide to increase the odds of enjoying the retirement. So
Yes. Smart
that's,
people.
well, it's everybody, all the smart people, they went through a lot of failing situation that they become smarter, because it's, you become smart by going through a lot of unpleasant stuff, and I don't know, call it stupidity, but eventually you do, because nobody's, even geniuses, they have failed multiple times, thousands of times to become genius. So if
Yep.
you have the situation, if I tell you like you have to fail 30 times to be successful, you'll fail as fast as possible. That's how it is. It's, I fail by,
Fail fast. Yep.
fail fast, fail forward, and
Yep.
move next.
Absolutely. And I like that you talked about the mindset of that book because money is not my thing. And I actually married an accountant and was like, whew, He could take care of all that because I just crunching numbers and percentage what I have no idea calculations but it is a great book in that it does help with your mindset with money. So thank you for bringing that up. All right, the first A in badass is for advice. You've given us amazing advice on this podcast today, but I'm curious, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece, just ask. Just ask. Hey, I ask the right question. When I started financing, I asked the client, I asked the mentor, now my partner, what do I need to know about your business to bring you more clients? So ask. I mean, obviously we all selfish, but the best advice I got, ask the right question. Even, I mean, with the clients, I'm asking the right questions based on my experience, and they like it because just there's not such thing as bad question. Asking the right question. So it's don't feel afraid to ask. Just go call. 14 years ago when I came to United States, I barely spoke English, and I was asking all the time, asking. When I get here, I have like questions through airport. Hey, how do I get to my terminal? So that was the question. My advice to you, don't feel scared to ask. So if you're looking to do something finance, don't feel afraid to ask George for advice. My advice to you is don't feel afraid to ask me for advice.
That is excellent advice, George. Like I said, I am going to be calling you and this is over. All right. The D in badass is for drive. What drives you to be successful?
Drives me to do things, the things that I like, things from the book, to do things, all the things I like, I want, at what time I want, anytime I want, with whom I want, for how many times I want. So
Love it.
that's the drive to enjoy. It's like having this. Am I dreaming? No, I'm living in my dream. So
And until all those emails keep piling up and piling up
oh
and
yeah,
piling up.
yeah.
Yes, I hear you.
Don't think about emails right now. We because
All right.
business like there's always something going wrong. If things are not falling apart, you're not moving fast enough because they
Yep.
fall in my business, in any business they falling apart. So it's
Fail
see,
fast.
Boeing was falling apart yesterday. They got $200 billion investment. So it's
There you go. That's right, Boeing. Very I was watching that as well. All right. The second A in badass is for aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal you are currently working on?
on goal. I'm working to optimize the company. So I'm gonna replace hopefully 50-70% of what I do, so I
Ooh,
can do strategize on the business to get another executive assistant so I can replace myself from the book Buy Your Time Back. So
very
that's
good. Just don't take 5 weeks to respond, please.
no, no, no.
Oh my goodness.
Yet
All right. The first S in badass is for systems. So what systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
system, basically I have the database of banks. I have access to those chats. It's I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. So whenever I have a deal that I haven't deal, I'm asking the banks that I'm in a chat. So I'm saying, hey, I have this company. It's been in business this long, doing this much revenue. I wanted to achieve this. I sent, and who is willing to help? So that's the system. The banks call me. That's the idea. That's a good system because
That's a huge system. All right. Well, George, I could sit here and pick your brain all day. However, the final S in badass is for success. What does success mean to George Otel?
success for me to decide your schedule and to be able to help younger generation, your family, your kids to participate in community and to go on podcasts to share your experience. It's a success because it's I hired an agency to get me on 40 podcasts this year. So public speaking it's hard. So I got to the stage in my life that I have to push myself to go on stage of life, to express my thoughts, my feeling. Because if nobody's gonna know about my goals, my dreams, nobody's gonna support them. The investors, I'm not gonna have any chances. So I'm telling everyone, I'm here, I'm doing my thing, and that's success. I mean, success is what it makes you feel good and what it makes you excited. I'm working 3 times harder, and I love it. So it's it's good. I rather feel it's successful to be so busy that I don't hate it, because it's
Because you love what you do.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I will give you this little nugget because people need to hear these things that you are teaching and helping business owners, and you're actually doing a disservice by not getting on those stages. So just remember that next time you get nervous or English is your second language, remember that it is a disservice by not teaching all these wonderful options that you have for business owners. So, George, one more time, how did the listeners find you?
LinkedIn, George Otel.
And that Otel, everyone.
Yeah, like hotel with no age. Sometimes you drive at night and hotels don't have an age, so it reminds you of George.
And then your
And
website?
it's usbizfunding.net, or another website is usbusinessfunding.net, which it goes to usbizfunding.net.
Gotcha. Well, you are fabulous. I appreciate you so much for being here today. Thank you, George.
Appreciate for having me, Jen.
Absolutely. And that is all. Thank you for listening. We will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josey by visiting therealjenjosey.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.